Hi, how are you? It's not that cold in here, it's just I want my blanket on me. If you hear a buzzy noise, I have the heater on. It's in Indiana right now because this is almost Halloween. It's like going between 30 to 40 degrees at night and then getting up to like 68 to 75 in the afternoon. That's fall weather. That's Indiana weather. So I decided to deter from the Vladimir Todd and the Brittany Louise Taylor book for a minute. Number one, I have to really put into indentations on the Chronicles of Vladimir Todd just because there's quite a bit I have to talk about, especially because of how some of the topics are talked about more or less about a weird 2-year age gap between a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old. Like I just turned 14-year-old and they've been 12 for a minute. Like, I'm gonna set that one aside for a second. I haven't even started the Brittany and Louise Taylor one. I've been distracted. But also, I've been busy. This got me down the line of, stuff like the X-Era Tower. And I have actually the other vampire book. Me who's editing this, you have to put up the other vampire book because I didn't have the first one of that series. I'm waiting for book 8, which is the last one to come out before I actually start to try and read all those, because those are a quick read. But something caught my eye. I have kind of been back into the shifter romance type of books recently, and one of them caught my eye. Specifically, Wed to the Omega, the Lunar Brothers Mpreg romance series. I want you to take a look at this. It's AI generated. So, this as well tells you in the book that this is, let me zoom in real quick, a second edition. The original one has real people. This one does not. But it caught my eye and I said, screw it. Okay, bye. And I got the 4 Lunar Brothers series, which is, oh dear, I keep having to also go back to the Amazon page because I don't know if these are in order or not, so it's better safe than sorry to just kind of have them in order as the way that they were published. It is Wed to the Omega, Doctor to the Omega, Mark to the Omega, and Bound to the Omega. I've read a little bit of these because they all have the backs here, so that should be interesting. But this also got me other curious for another one of the series that also has AI generated shifter series, a Moonstar dating agency story. And these ones are actually numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. So yay, this one as well as First Fang's Rival Omega, Alpha's Heart Omega, Alpha's Heart Omega's Home, Ride Hard, Alpha Daddy. God damn it, you made me say it. Let me find your Omega. Mega these nuts in your mouth, am I right, ladies? Also, why is that? So I wanted to oh, look, the Aurora Borealis that I didn't get to see because no one told me about it. And also, by the time I realized it, it was already 5 in the morning. But yeah, I'm gonna read these. Do I know anything about them besides that it's Mpreg and Shifter series? No, I didn't get to see the other one. I may also read the, I think it's the either God or the Phoenix one too. I don't know if I will. We'll see. I want to read all these because I also want to show you how it's spaced out. Who the hell said you could do this? You know what? I'd rather it be like how the Mermaid series is, and it'd be so far right here into the crack of the book. You know what? And this one right here is like over 252 pages. In reality, without the space, it probably would either be 150 or 200, in all honesty. Let's start this review because I truly do not know how to ever start these. Me who is editing this, put a title card or whatever, because now we're putting title cards or whatever book we're on next. I don't know. I just finished the Wed to the Omega, part of the Lunar Brothers series. So, I will say this now. We do find out that all of these brothers connected This is Locke. We have next is Vander. And then we have Kristoff and Arthur. I keep confusing Kristoff and Arthur's, like, who's older, because Kristoff has always been, like, talked about as if he's older, but apparently it's Arthur. And he's the artist, and he's different, and I don't give a shit. But I also, reading the back here, you get to see the original first cover of this. I want you to look at, I don't know which one. I think this is supposed to be Terrence. No, it's Tristan. It's Tristan. Ha 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 ha. And then this one here. Tristan is supposed to have white hair, blue eyes. I want you to... This guy is blue. This is supposed to be Locke. And Locke also has red eyes. Also, another thing that's not consistent here, they don't always have their ears and tail out. I don't know why. They do that. They just do that. So, both Locke and... I keep wanting to say Vander. That's his brother. Locke and Tristan. I keep confusing them, and I'm also, like, I just finished this. So, here I am. But, Tristan is... I'm slurring. I don't know why. I'm slurring my words. But Tristan is from the ice pack. And then Tristan is from the Crimson Moon pack. And it kind of comes back later, but not really, if you catch my drift. And their families 200 years ago had bloodshed. Now they have a peace treaty. So, and Tristan is kind of like to himself. He's an Omega. He's to himself very much so. And he is more or less like just treated differently because an Omega. But Locke is kind of trying to push his way into like, hey, like, what's up? Like, it's more of like not poking the bear, I guess, poking the wolf. No, but he kind of wants to talk to him, but Tristan's like, nope, get the fuck away from me, leave me alone, that sort of thing. And he's like, okay, yes, sir. But later on becomes like, they do talk about that, and he's like, I'm just awkward, and that is to protect myself. But Locke's family has become into some money troubles, and their families basically say, you know what, to keep the clan happy and all that, you two are to wed, we got you a house, we expect grandbabies, bye-bye. Now, anyway, because Tristan is an only child, that's basically it. And then Locke is the third alpha, Vander's the Omega, and then his other brothers are alphas too, so whatever. They're not important. You get to see him or them at the beginning, more so personality-wise, and then a little bit near the end, but nothing else. And also, for some reason, they just kind of are like, Locke, you should know this. And it's like, when you're just suddenly told, hey, come to this thing here, you don't really expect much. Because they have a thing made up. They kind of will wait for school is over to have the kids, and then I'll get to that later, because that's already, I'm like, why are we rushing? What's the rush? This already should be bing, 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 bong. Like, we're already married, okay? And at the beginning of getting into the house, Tristan as well is very much wanting to be alone. And again, both of them are very much like, yes, I can see in the situation of this, where one kind of wants to figure stuff out and kind of be cordial, and because you're legally married, you need to kind of live together, while Tristan is like, I don't want to talk to anyone, I don't want to talk to you, leave me alone, like, that's all we have to do, I'm on my side, you're on your side, goodbye. As she fails to jump over and claws me. Ow! So after some time, again, by the time all of this has happened, I want you to know this now. A lot of the story that happens in this book is 2 weeks, then 2 months, then 5 years later with an epilogue, okay? That's how far we are. And you thought fucking Twilight was rushed? 50 Shades of Grey is like, I think a week or two. No. We have 2 weeks, then 2 months, then 5 years, okay? But there's another guy. His name is Martin and the Ice River Pack. Oh, excuse me, princess. They all sound the same. Martin Belloc. So there's that. He is one of the more families that are more becoming prominent. I don't remember the name of the pack. It kind of doesn't matter. But he's becoming more popular, more so money-wise, because his family is making these pills to kind of make your wolf stronger. And he is the class of, hey, yeah, you definitely have been fed those medicines. But anyway, during one of the fights, while they're married and they're kind of figuring out that they may like each other, but it's one of those things where they're trying to fight it, but also they're like, I've been with him, I kind of gotten to know him. Also, he has a great ass. And Martin ends up injuring Locke during one of their fights. Ends up injuring his shoulder, which is, I think, supposed to be this. Can you actually see it? Kinda. It's like at the corner here. But, and he will be out for that week. And you know what that means? Sexy time. So, again, a lot of this is just kind of entering into Locke and Terrence's sort of relationship, which they do have a good relationship. They open up about each other's issues, like how Locke is, again, the third alpha, and how they just kind of were like, third alpha, yeah. And they kind of baby Vander a bit, but they also only worry about their other two children. Because again, Locke is, I think, 24, and stupid Locke. I just lost it. At 22, he was 2 years older than me and hardly what I'd call a friend, and yet we'd been around each other since childhood simply because of the relationship between our two clans, the Ice River Pack and the Crescent Moon Pack. Okay, so yeah, 24, 22. So 5 years later, oh geez. Okay, but whatever. And he's also a bit of a player. He mostly was with alpha women, and they do think it's fated mate thing. Kind of not. There's no real fated mate discussion. It's only like, hey, it's only kind of fairy tale, or it happens once in every blue fucking moon, or whatever. Also, there are so many names in this that, again, there's both Tristan's parents, who are Alpha Omega, both guys, and then there's Locke's mom and dad, and then his brothers, and then there's Tristan's friend Vively, I don't remember how to pronounce her name, and then there's, again, Martin. Then there's like 2 or 3 other names that come into this that they're not needed, they're just suddenly thrown in here, and it's like, okay, cool. Half of them I don't even know. There's also talks of the Bear Clan, that's oh boys, and that comes into play later on. There's also talk of the Tiger Clan, and about Aspharatics, or Aspharatics, basically the good shit. And that's again, they're mentioned. I think Ashe Moon has another shifter series with dragons, which I don't know. I may not. I don't know. I'll figure out later. I'll figure out when I'm done with all this shit. The injury happening and getting to know each other and kind of doing more sexy time. And again, in the house too, they do a lot of training. That comes into play later. And he's not doing what he's supposed to, because he's supposed to be healing his arm. That's not going to happen. He can't sit down. And after he gets better, I almost forgot. Okay, so in here and in the front cover of the original, it does not show it, but Terrence has this mark, because he has all white hair, blue eyes, and then Locke has black hair, red eyes, okay? But Terrence has this black blotch on his hair that is supposed to be a marker that he's in heat. When does it go away? I'm glad you asked. Baby, next question. It's an MPreg series. What do you want from me? Do you want this book? Why are you staring at the camera, my man? after he gets back, his arm's not fully healed, but he ends up coming back. And it takes like a week or two to heal, okay? Mind you, we're at the 2-week point. But Martin tries to like come out and be like, hey, your forced marriage is like bullshit. You're marrying an Omega, blah, blah. And it's like, who the fuck cares? Anyway, so, because there's a lot of talk with like the fighting school where they're all at, oh yeah, we're fighting for what? I don't fucking know. Anyway, it's not like, oh, we're going into the military. It's just, we're fighting. It's a fighting academy school. For what? What purpose? I don't know. Ask your parents. I don't fucking know. Even then, like, it's not really brought up what the fighting academy is for and, like, what jobs you can go to. It's just kind of like, you could do this. I don't know, man. It's not really explained. But Martin comes along and is like, hey, Locke, ya bitch. You are married to an Omega. And also, your brother's an Omega. So, fuck you. And Locke goes to fight him. And he's like, Terrence comes in and is like, no. How about this? If he goes against you and wins, you have to drop out of this academy. And Martin goes, yeah, okay. And what in return? What if he loses? And Terrence goes, I'll drop out. And I'm like, bruh, why you gotta put yourself in this? Also, why did you make the bet for him? Locke is like, why'd you do that? But also, they have to tell the parents. And the parents automatically think, because they've gotten closer in the like last week or two, that they are like super happy about it. They're like, oh my god, we're expecting a baby, oh my god. Which leads to the question of later on, when they do actually have a baby, or they find out that he's pregnant, that the mark just comes out and it's a big clump in his hand, that it's hair. How did they not know this? Terrence's dad is an Omega. How does he not know this? Like, unless like the mark never showed up for him and he just like had, like, they had sex, or was an arranged marriage too. I don't know. We never get told this. He agrees to the fight, and it's not really acknowledged because, again, this could be, for both sides, look very bad because it's not been officially been accepted on Martin's family sides. And again, it's two families, the Ice Packs and Icy Pack, Ice Pack, and the Crescent Moon. It's just them saying, hey, my son's gonna fight your son, you know? Again, Martin's not like, because he's a dickhead anyone. I don't think anyone would have an issue with that. But it's the principle. So, again, there's a new training that it's basically, Locke, you gotta train mentally and not physically. Physically, you're fine. Mentally, you need to be all there. During one of these times, we have to have a dinner for everyone, because during this time, it's also to kind of announce that, like, the marriage between the two packs is going good. Tristan is pregnant. This, that, and the third. And the family of Locke is not there, which is very weird. Turns out, Van got beat the fuck up by Martin's younger brother, one of the brothers, and is in the hospital. And his leg is totally fucked up. Surgery is like a success and everything like that, but basically it's not going to be the same again as it once was. So, because he also wanted to go to the fight academy as an Omega, which, okay, we'll see about that later on. Whatever you want to do, buddy. And so now it was personal before, now it's extra personal, and the families acknowledge that the fight is going to happen now, because now it's not only, hey, Martin's brother came to attack Vander, but it was just out of the blue, like, random attack. It wasn't like Martin and Locke had fought, or Martin and Terrence had fought. Which, even then, Martin going against Terrence would be like, hey, you're gonna beat the fuck out of a pregnant person? Okay, you're cool. You're super cool. Anyway, so again, 2 months. This is the 2 months timeline. Training is done. Fight goes pretty well. Locke bites off Martin's ear, which that's great. And he's throwing threats around that he's going to, like, kill him because he wins. It's a very clear win because gets mud in the eye, but his training has paid off. I gotta say this now, because even though Martin wins and everything like that, there's a thing that's talked about with these wolves that they can shift either into like the full wolf form or like the hybrid one. And a lot of the time they just wear pants or their underwear. And I'm just imagining Wolfman wearing pants. Like either that or just his boxers. It's the weird day for the guy to wear tidy whities. But no, that is most of it. And again, it's also not just, hey, they have their ears and tails out all the time. It is, they can just like ears out, tail out, whenever they please. And revert back to human form. Okay. I don't know. I think this whole world is either all shifters or I can't tell about that either. So there's some things that I don't know, but also maybe in other books it's explained. I don't know. This is a completely out of the blue series that seems to be the first in it, but you know, YOLO. But again, Martin's the loser. He gets kicked out of the school, and we get a 5-year jump to where Terrence is recognized as a fighter, joining in with the other Omegas, because that's what he wanted to be, was like an Omega known fighter, and that's pretty much it. Like, he's accepted the award and recognized, and that's it. And again, 5 years later with a child. So hold on, he's 22, 27, like 29, 27, 29, almost 30. Jeez. Anyway, but that's pretty much the end of it. In all honesty, I do like this series. I did like the characters. I like the character growth. But now rethinking of it, some of it doesn't make sense. As in, what is the Fight Academy doing? Like, and again, Terrence's dad, one of his dads, was like a great fighter. Okay, cool. What do you do afterwards? Where do you go after this? That kind of didn't make sense, but also it's kind of like you could do wrestling later on, and you don't have to like go to like any deadlifting or anything. You just kind of do it. You get recognized, and that's it. Like same with people who like go to college to play basketball or football. You like don't have to continue it on. You can do whatever you want. And again, there are too many names in this that I will not recognize, and looking at them, I don't know if they come into later books or not. Like there's 2 of them that are in Locke's friend group that are mentioned twice, and that's it. Vively, who is Terrence's friend, she's mentioned a few times. I liked her, but she was very clearly like the best friend that kind of like knows everything. She's like a smart, like very smart person that's only there to be like, hey, V, what's this mean? And then she answers you. That's pretty much her character development. I found it really disturbing that the parents very clearly were like, oh my god, you guys are getting so close. Baby, when? You're announcing this meeting for us to announce you're pregnant, right? And then none of them realize that, hey, Tristan still has the mark on him, so that means that he's not pregnant. So like, what are you doing? And also there is talks of, hey, I'm gonna get the condoms. No, don't get the condoms. Right after this fucking meeting where Tristan is like, hey, if I have a kid, I may have to stop doing this training, which, no, you don't. You don't. I'm gonna say that now. You don't have to stop anything. You can choose to put it on hold and pick it back up. You don't. The Omega weird hate, it's just more of an isolation. That's it. There's no real description of why, or like the Omega told of like, oh, they're seen as the lesser. Here, let me show you, bonk in the head, that sort of thing. It's just more of like it's the status of being lower. That's all it is. But anyway, so going to book 2. I said it before, talked about bear shifters. This one is this. I kind of already read the back of this. I have a giant scratch on this, and I don't know if it's from, you cannot even see it. God dang it. It's like right here. It's like, beep, whatever. But the bear shifter, Dr. Vander wants to go to fighting school, okay? There's another dragon series, and then there's this one. I don't know if Rival, no, it's the other Alpha Omega series by Ashe Moon that I think it's like an agency that hooks people up together. So I don't know how that's gonna go. Also, Prejudice. Bears are not supposed to be with wolves. What's the reason? Eat my dick and balls. That's why. Oh, do you love how I have not started this book yet? Me too. I'm excited. Where is he? He's right here. That's Leo. This stuff's changed right here. Also, Merry Christmas. Happy Chrysler. I started this Christmas Eve. I don't remember what day or what month I started the first one on, so yay. It's probably been a while, because during that time I think I had also tried to start the horror movies and the Christmas movies of Hallmark and all that stuff. So anyway, but we're here to talk about Doctor to the Omega. This title is stupid, by the way. I don't know what you could have called it, but you didn't have to call it this. So we follow Vander. He is trying to do that martial arts school. It had been like 2 years after his accident where his leg was injured by, I don't remember, that one guy's brother or whatever. It's been a minute. His leg should be healed. But as a lot of people who do and who have been stuff, when you have been injured, like, you look physically alright, but when you strain yourself, you're like, oh yeah, my leg's kind of fucked up right now. And it was kind of that way. They're going through this rough training to get into the fighting school. He's almost there. Like, the top 30 is what you have to get to, like, be qualified for this school. And instead of, you know, being top 30, he decides to save this guy named Chris. I thought Chris was gonna be our love interest, and then I remembered, oh yeah, he's not a wolf. Our love interest is a bear. And actually, the first time they actually meet, his name is Pell, and Pell ends up rescuing Chris and Vander, because Vander uses his flare to call for help. They kind of, like, do a little back and forth of like, hey, you were like very like admirable, you saved this kid even though you didn't make it into the school, you should become like working with me in the medical field. And Vander's like, I don't know, kind of always wanted to fight. And he's like, okay, suit yourself. He also had like this thing for the #1 dude named Lex. That crush quickly deteriorates when he's like, yeah, I would have let that guy Chris drown just to get to this #1 spot. And Vander's like, yeah, that's not me. Fuck you. I'm gonna go away. And he's very like, he's embarrassed that he lost, but also that like his first, I don't think it's his first love, but it's like one of his crushes is a shitty person, and he goes and is alone for a minute. We also get to see Terrence and Locke from the first book and their son Ian, which Ashe Moon kind of forgets what his name is near the end, so don't worry, I'll remind you, don't worry. Terrence is like, hey, you know what? I know you're an Omega. You fought hard for this, but truthfully, you can try again. And Ian and Vander's like, kind of don't want to. And Terrence goes, you know what? You don't have to. I'd think about what you want to do, though, because I think he is 20. Pell is 20-something, like 26, 27. So we got an age difference here. One day at home, Vander's like, you know what? I want to go way up north to bear country and just find what I want to do. His mom is like, you what? To be fair, he ends up going anyway, but it's one of those things that he's 20. He wants to find himself. They're not ready to let him go, especially because he's the baby. He's the Omega. Gotta go up north. He's doing all that. He gets past. He's almost to his destination. I think it's called Diamond Dust or whatever. And he is trying to get through this snow because it's really bad winter up there, and he thinks he's being followed. He, in his wolf form, tries to run through the trees. His backpack gets caught. He ends up falling down a cliff, and that's where Pell finds him and helps him, and he takes him back to his house, and he's basically is healing him. And poor Vander is not doing well at first. He's severely injured. He's got a hand injury. He's got a lot of issues right now. Like, he's scratched up to hell and back. He fell from a cliff. He didn't break anything, but he injured himself pretty good. And at one point in time, Vander gets a really bad fever. And the only way to help him is, he's like, Vander, no, you're not gonna like this, but you gotta get nude so I can find, like, what injury is, like, making you feel sick. And again, he's a doctor, but also it's like, you're a stranger danger. You're looking at me nude. And it's like, dude, he's a doctor. But finds out that he's injured, like, near, like, his thigh to his ass. Weird shit has to happen because apparently bear saliva is much stronger than wolf saliva. I don't know. There's also, it's not as prominent as, like, the first book, where the first book definitely was like, hey, you can't hear, and, like, no one can hear when one another is shifted. Like, it's just not possible. It's, like, no one, not even other shifters, but this one, it's like, oh, yeah, we can hear each other, and I'm like, I guess for convenience. It doesn't happen often, so I'm like, okay, it's for convenience, whatever. And that kind of starts the, hey, think I may like this dude. He's kind of hot, and they do have sex multiple times. And to be fair, Vander is also like, yo, what are we in? Pell is like, we're fucking, what do you want? So at one point in time, again, they have to go to the hospital because, again, it's not described well what Pell does, if he is on-call doctor or if he's like, he works for, I think, like, some doctors, they work 72 hours, they get 3 days off. They work a 24, they get a day off. They work another 72. I don't know. I've only done the part where I had to work from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. for every day except for Sunday. And that was not fun. And I know some of the doctors there, they were there from Monday to Thursday, and they were off for like 4 days and then back. And a lot of them would not go back home. They would just go to sleep in the hospital. And I'm sure that's like other places too. But I don't know Pell's credentials truly. After going to the hospital trying to save this kid, which we had saw before because he was a wolf, and where Pell works is more so for the poor, so it's admirable that he's like helping them for like less of the cost and shit like that. And Vander decides he wants to be a healer and help people, and Pell says, that's great, like, let's continue doing that. I have all this stuff here, let's go. And again, they have the one argument to be like, hey, Pell, what are we in? Pell just kind of goes, I don't know. And Vander's like, cool, I'm leaving. I'm going home. And Pell goes, no, wait, I actually fucking love you. And I'm over here going, prideful, ain't we? Pride is a thing that comes up again later. Again, there's a talking back and forth between Pell's family and how his parents have not talked in 2 years, and it's more or less, there's a weird part in this series where prejudice against wolves and bears is talked about, but it's not like a, you're a wolf, you can't date my son. It's more like a, ha, you're dating a wolf, fucking idiot. Bears are stupid. They can never be doctors, like that sort of thing. It's never truly like pushed. Even at the end where it's like the townspeople are like, fucking wolf is in here in this fucking this town known for bears, and everyone's just like, shut the fuck up, Carl. It doesn't, there's no real, it's like, hey, this thing is kind of the prejudice. You want to go more into detail on that? No. There's also not a lot of talk of alpha and mega stuff. It's barely in this. You could just kind of just be like, hey, these two are gay and dating, and they happen to be bear and wolf. Anywho, so again, there is a thing called the Food Gathering Festival. It's for bears that they mostly just eat all the time. It's to celebrate spring. Vander kind of gets into Pel's business and is like, hey, you should talk to your parents again and try to get on their sweet side again, because you know what? I don't know what that's like. I have a kind of good relation with my family. More about that later. And again, we're here. They end up having sex 1 week after knowing each other. They say I love you 2 weeks after knowing each other. They're married a month after meeting one another. Twilight, 50 Shades could never. I don't remember how long it took in the first book. It took a minute. I don't think they actually got married. Truly, they were mated and they had a kid. But again, I don't know. I don't remember either. It's been too long. Vander ends up wanting to be, because Pel's dad is like a big doctor, big name doctor. And he goes over there to try and convince him and Pel that they need to kind of reconcile. Mind you, this is stuff where it needs to be Pel who's doing this, but again, pride. And during that time as well, Pel is kind of like, I need to be there. Fuck, he's right. I do need to be there. And they do. He ends up going over there, goes to his parents' house, finds out that Vander is there, and they're all having dinner together. And basically, what Vander says to get Pel's dad to kind of talk to him, because he's super busy, was, hey, I'm your son's mate. I want to talk to you. And the dad knocks on his hotel door and goes, you fucking rang? What's this about a mate? Who are you? He basically already had his mind made up that he needs to make up with his son. But again, pride. Anyway, they do end up reconciling. There is one thing that did make me mad about this. Truly mad about this. That for some reason, we can spare over 223 pages, but not an extra 12 for, this is an NPreg story. There's no baby. They talk about, wonder what our baby's gonna be, blah, blah, blah. And you have to go to the back here. And it says this. Boy or girl, find out about Pel and Vander's child in the free special bonus chapter. Keep turning till the end of the book for the download link. It's free. You go onto the website, you put your email address, it's free. But I'm over here going, you could not spare. Because, hold on, how many pages does this actually end up being? 234. Extra 12 pages. I don't think anyone would have mind. It's a girl, by the way. Her name is Alexis. It's a girl, by the way. But, again, you won't know if it's a bear or a wolf until 3 months old. And we don't even get that. And there's a possibility it could be both. Do we know? I don't know. We gotta talk about March to the Omega. During this book, Kristoff is the second oldest brother, the goody two-shoes brother, who, golden child, technically. He ends up, during this time, getting together with an Omega who had been in jail. What had happened was that this Omega broke into their house and Kristoff found them. And what ends up happening is they end up being together. This causes issues between the family. The brothers kind of don't seem to care. The parents do. The brothers are kind of like we're kind of gotta be with them. Because again, I would not like my kid to be with someone who's been to jail for very clearly as well, breaking into our home. We don't know the extent. I'm sure we're going to find out more in this book. But there also is the thing of, his name is Mason. Yeah, his name is Mason. That Mason is also pregnant. So whatever happened during that few times, and I think it's like a few months later, by the way. I'm not it's probably like a year, I would say 8 to 9 months / a year. Mason had told their parents, not Mason, but Kristoff had told their parents that Mason was pregnant while Vander was in labor. You get the fuck out. I'm trying to celebrate my youngest here giving birth. And then you're over here just going, hey, by the way, parents, since you already hate me right now, the person that you didn't want me to be with, they're pregnant now. And I'd be like, I would kill this fucker in the hospital. Same day, same shipping. You're getting your ass handed. We don't know more about this. So I'm guessing we'll have to go to this one. How many pages are you, sir? 257. Oh dear. Hold on. What is this? Want more of Christoph and Mason? The date. Hold on. Is the other ones got this too? Oh, shut up thing. To exclusive bonus material. I don't know. It just says bonus material. I don't know what that is. That's the wedding. This is bound. Want more of Arthur Perry? First meeting. Stop doing that. That's fucking annoying. That's annoying now. Okay. That's annoying as shit. Either put it all in one or don't. That's annoying. That is very annoying. Anyway, I'm more interested in this now because we got us a bad boy Omega. Oh boy, oh boy. I don't know what to think about that right now because I'm just more upset that I had to go find out a bonus chapter and not even know, hey, are they a beta or an alpha? Or maybe they're both. Yeah, maybe Kristoff will tell us. I doubt it. I doubt it. Bet you'd be bound to the Omega. I doubt it will be that either. Either way, on to the next one. Hopefully it's not like almost a few months later, but knowing my luck. Or knowing me. It's been almost a year since I've reviewed this series. I know probably the video it's all consecutive, but like it's been almost a year. Welcome 2025. The year has been. There's a cat cleaning herself behind me, so you know how that be. Anyway, and I gotta say this right now because the style I've decided to do for these has changed a bit. I look at the screen here, and then some funny stuff may happen. I don't have a lot to say about either of these, and my memory on the whole series is a little blurry. I just remember it's 4 brothers, and that's all I remember. Alpha Omega series. Woohoo! Anyway. Woohoo! It's crazy. Anyway. On to the review of this or whatever. Our main characters are Kristoff and Mason. I vaguely remember Kristoff from the last one about dating the convict while the other brother was giving birth. Super. So super. I guess we'll find out how that went, didn't we? Also, you did that while your brothers and... Okay, whatever. Fuck it. Kristoff is the firstborn, and at 5, he goes to the teller, someone who tells, well, fortunes of their future, and says that the paw print birthmark on his leg is a symbol of being mated. His dad calls it nonsense, and now at 27, he's a poor single bachelor who is still looking for his mate. The back of the book spoils it, but I won't for you. Ian, Locke and Tristan's son's 4th birthday is coming up, and now Tristan and Arthur are going to be doing some talking to clans and all kinds of fun, and not seriously smiling and welcoming voices. But sadly, Kristoff is going to be chaperoning their cousins who only speak Lupin. It's never explained why, like, he doesn't even speak Lupin, and even then, they're just kind of background characters that get tossed away later, so it's like, why did you do this to him? Why didn't you, Mom and Dad, decide to do this? They're not even close to these cousins, and it's like, oh yeah, you have to go help them do whatever. You'll be a good boy, good firstborn, good. Anyway, Mason and his sister Jennifer have been stealing from the rich for their mother who has poor working legs, and doctors require money to do more research and or surgery, and they're poor. So they kind of need this shit. Mason is the security guard as Jennifer is 16, so I support them. The two decide to break into the Lunar estate and steal from everyone's belongings during the party, which will be in the closet, and of course Mason will pretend to be a security guard, so all should be good, right?
Nothing can possibly go wrong. Possibly go wrong. That's the first thing that's ever gone wrong.
Mason doesn't like the rich because him and his sister grew up poor. I would say not all rich guys, but Kristoff is apparently not like other rich guys who are struggling in keeping the clan afloat. being told what to do and say and who to date, and other miscellaneous shit he doesn't want to do while putting on a pained smile. Oh hey Luigi, what are you doing here? So there's this pull between the two that they both don't realize, but yeah, no. Anyway, Mason and Jennifer sneak inside and try to get into the safe, but after trying and failing, an alarm goes off. The door pushed forward and wedged between a chair, and through the opening came the confused shouts of the people on the other side. Shoulders immediately started to slam against the door. "Kristoff, come on," Jennifer shouted. She was already halfway up the rope. Kristoff is the love interest. Your brother's name is Mason. They had yet to meet. Jennifer, I didn't know you knew Kristoff like that, or did Mason have a name change? It's never explained. Also, oops. They escape through a vent, but Mason is caught, telling Jennifer to run. As he does, he cuts his foot on broken glass before being chased by Kristoff and taken away via ambulance. Kristoff's father is very proud of him for catching the thief and gives him full control over what happens to him, exile or death. Needless to say, some hard decision-making is to be done. While checking the crime scene, Kristoff realizes the paw pad of blood is the same one of that of his birthmark. Kristoff heads to the holding cell where they patched Mason up, both feeling the pull, but Mason's hatred and cocky insults do little to drive them forward. Kristoff reiterates he's here to deal out his punishment, as Mason won't give out his sister's name to protect the family, just saying it's himself. Mason tells Kristoff that he's lived very poorly through his clan, and while he does sympathize with him, says that he can help if he just says the other person's name. He still refuses because, number one, he can't trust him, and number two, Kristoff does it in secret anyway, looking into who could have possibly been suspect number two. Why don't the police just DNA the blood, or even the hospital would have told him because he's a suspect. But Kristoff chooses to just release him.
You're a fucking simp!
Also, truly, DNA swab, of the place, especially because Kristoff snuck through the vent. Why couldn't they just check that? Or even, the vault? Or the entire house? But then again, there was multiple people around. But, why not the majority of the area? Mason goes back home, and him and Jennifer realize not only that their mom is getting worse, but they have no money. Of course, Kristoff finds out where he lives and asks to speak with him. Heading to the anonymous black car, he offers him some money and not going to jail if he helps fix the house. So here's something I don't get. Kristoff keeps thinking in his head that he likes Mason, the guy who he knows nothing about but basic information he could search, and for some reason, he states that since he's a low-born Omega, his parents wouldn't approve. Vander is married and has a kid with a doctor. Oh wait, this is the past. Still, it's randomly put out there that his parents would not like him marrying a low-born Omega. This is never brought up truly, especially with Locke and Tristan, because it's more of a convenience thing for, I think, Tristan's side, more or less, so no one really cares. And Vander marries outside of his own species. And maybe they just don't care because it's an alpha, but also, I think Arthur and Kristoff both talk about how Vander's a special case because he's an Omega. Again, I reiterate, Locke was the black sheep and they didn't give a shit. Kristoff is firstborn, and they kind of make it seem like they're putting the pressure on him, but then other times it's yeah, son, you could do whatever. Arthur truly seems like the middle child syndrome, which I'll get to later on, because he's just fucking whoever. We'll explain more of that later, too. Honestly, firstborn shit aside, lions say he's from Ohio or some made-up place. If they call you out, say that the teller told the truth, and that if you go against him, you're going to go against the treaty or pack or some shit. I reiterate, who actually cares about this stuff? Because in truth, it's just Kristoff in his head. It's no one else but Kristoff. So him being oh my god, he's a low-born Omega is just... Who cares? Who truly cares? You're causing drama for yourself. They have a bigger issue of this guy tried to steal from you guys during a child's birthday party, no less. Which we see absolutely nothing of, and just many people drinking. This was a kid's birthday party, right? And also there were hardly any children here. Now thinking about it, that's kind of fucked up. We're all adults here drinking at a kid's birthday party. That's crazy. I don't know, maybe there's like 3 other kids. I don't think we actually see more kids because, again, this is before, like, the stuff with Vander. So Vander's not there, and his own kid isn't there. So it's like, where are the other kids? Where are the other cousins? The other cousins were like 15 and they didn't speak any English. So they're out of the question. So who's this party for again? Oh yeah, the rich. So instead of hiding the fact that Mason is the man who broke into the house, Kristoff just says yes, he's the criminal and is going to work off what he's done and go on his merry way. While working, the two get along great actually. Jennifer puts the thought of maybe Kristoff or Mason falling in love or crushing on one another. Mason admits it to himself that he does like him, as the two make a bet with one another while fixing the safe, and Mason wins. He wants to eat at some fancy restaurant, and Kristoff agrees. Mason also realizes that their time together may be coming to an end since there's little left to fix. So what does this mean? After dinner, they go out and see the stars where they kiss. Kristoff admits he doesn't want this to be the last they see each other. They have sex and agree to make this place their secret meetup. Oh boy, I sure hope nothing bad happens.
Oh no, it all went wrong!
Kristoff tells his parents about him being fated mates with Mason. I just realized he's 27. Why does he need to get mommy and daddy's permission? He's 27. He's an adult. They already said, hey dude, we're giving you this one chance to be like, exile or kill this motherfucker, and you already didn't do what they told, so, you're 27. You're the next in line. And also, can you guess how well they react to that said news? His parents forbid it, saying they can't accept him, and Kristoff leaves and head to Mason's. They admit their mates as shit just flies. Like Kristoff and the rest move out of the Lunar mansion. Mason goes to college and things seem to be getting better on their side, especially financially, but his parents still refuse to acknowledge them. We do get some timeline, which I think it's 2 months before Vander's gonna give birth, as Mason takes his mom to bear country to help her legs. She can be treated. Kristoff's mom finds him and tells him that she as well had a fated mark, but it disappeared after falling in love with her dad through arranged marriage. He didn't like the tabloid because of the mark, and that it meant she was never going to fall for him, which wasn't true. Damn. Who cares? Also, you could have told him this before he fucking left. Like, before he decided, you know what, they're not going to accept me, bye. You had 2 months to say, guess what? I have that fan mark thing too. It disappeared though. Why are you telling me this? This character development means nothing from you. You disappear until later series or 3 books. I'm sorry, you're now here in part of 1 and the 3rd one. Who cares? She's trying to convert their father, but better said than done. He tells Mason the good news, as Mason has got even better news. He's pregnant. Reiterating the news, his dad's still not on board, but says he'll always pick Mason, and if his dad's got something to say about it, then he can make it so that Arthur is the next head of the family. Don't put that shit on him. Why not Locke, actually? Is it because he's the middle child? Oh, it is. It's because he's the middle child. He's the black sheep. Actually, why didn't they make Locke, like, the first? Because they married him off sooner, and also, actually, thinking it back, is it because the two technically knew each other at school? Why didn't they do that with Vander or Arthur? I'm just now realizing that, because why didn't you actually do it with the firstborn either? I don't remember how old Terrence was. Why did it matter? If you're not going to have Locke be the first. He's not even, like, in that clan. I forget Terrence's clan. It didn't matter anyway, so I guess he's head of that clan now, so he can't? I don't know. I don't remember this. Where's there plot in my smut? Why is there a plot in my smut? Get it out. You're disgusting. Ew, get it out. Okay, so then we get that Vander has had his baby, and we're now a month afterwards, but both mom and dad were arguing about him running away mid everything with Vander and his baby being born. Anyway, Coda is born in Omega, with things with Kristoff's parents becoming better because baby, and we cut to 5 years later where Coda and his parents go to the tailor, and fuck you, that's where they end. No, hey, they have the same mark, just like it's generational or something, I don't know. Fuck you, it doesn't matter. Actually, let's see at the end that they had that stupid thing where it's like, oh, check out the new story. Want some more Kristoff and Mason? Here's a free bonus chapter of the day. Who cares? Next one. I'm mad. Next one. Moving on with my life. Alright, Mom and Dad. You have one child left. The best thing we can do is not fuck it up. So this is actually the shortest one. I'd have to double check with Terrence and Vanders, but I think this is the shortest one. Also, the shortest one on my document here that I have 2 pages, maybe a page and a half. But still, it's the shortest one because a lot of this is a mixture of training / just kind of fucking around and talking the talk. It's not like with this one where it's like there's a little bit of smut, but there's also like more like talks with Jennifer and Mason and like with their mom too, where you're kind of like, okay, I see both sides of the coin, but also you see Kristoff and Mason kind of getting closer, and you see how like his mindset is changing. This one, it's kind of just like, oh my god, you're back from Nam, or some stupid shit like that. Yes, it takes place in Nam. This is like years prior to everything that's happened here. We are now in Nam. Anyway, I'm going to continue this review before I'm already giving myself the giggles. We got Arthur on the hour and Perry, the love interest, and they have a past. We're in the technical present of the events with Kristoff, as his son Coda is now 5 years old and Arthur is still unbound and 32. I don't know why we needed more jumps from this, but you know, I still don't understand a lot of the jumps for this, because I get like with Tristan and Vander and maybe kinda with Kristoff, but like another 5 years, we kinda didn't. Like the stuff with Kristoff and Mason could have happened behind the scenes. I still don't get it. Anyway, Kristoff has taken over being leader of the Lunar clan as he's worried about Arthur and how he hasn't settled down. Oh no, the Playboy hasn't settled down. Shocker. Everyone comes over to talk business, but Arthur's thoughts were on his wolf cycle racing. Basically motorcycle racing, but one's wolf self must be shifted and it's tougher playing field. While his parents don't like it, they once again bring up that what if his lover doesn't like it, or it gives them a heart attack? A name comes to him, one that could possibly be a good fit for him, an Omega named Perry. This brings back old feeling, being one who he wanted to be with, and chose cycle racing to escape his memory for, which worked until just now. It doesn't help that Perry is back in town with a kid, Juniper, in tow, leaving his abusive, cheating husband, giving his clan a bad name because of it.
Go babies, go babies, go.
Of course, Perry's dad says he should just go back instead of being exiled, being verbally abused and watched as their child disassociates more into a recluse child, or find my own damn happiness. Tough choices, man. I gotta think about that one, you know? Being in an abusive relationship where I'm being belittled and basically thought of as nothing, or finding my own happiness. It's like picking 2 sides of the coin here. And one of them really is buffed up, like shiny as fuck on one side, and the other side is burnt. Tough choices, Dad, tough choices. I mean, you could settle for him, right? You'll take my place, right? No? Okay, fuck you. Perry goes down to the track since it's been 10 years since returning, and that his ex-husband has kind of ruined it for him since he too was involved in the sport. Dear Lord, is it A, if I win I get the Omega BS? It is. Perry realizes that Arthur is racing and heads down to see him. Realizing that he's here, the two have awkward conversations about life before Perry asks to meets up at their old meeting place at an old racetrack, avoiding being spotted by others. And Arthur fell hard for the guy. Like he's crying on the way, remembering how much he loved his ex-best friend. Perry admits to leaving his bastard of a husband with a kid in tow until the hubby comes back to take him, back. Not on Arthur's watch, though. They kiss as Arthur leaves for the bar, and a woman walks up to him saying that, hey, I'll listen to your problems, and oh boy, does he release his problems. She tells him to go back to Perry, and does that. He tells Perry that to come live with him in the Luna house and goes to get Juniper. After settling down, the two have sex and have a heart-to-heart about everything that has happened. They have a discussion about Perry's situation and come to realize that the Alpha has to say that their bond is to be annulled.
Boy, if you don't...
Perry says that his husband is obsessed with power he holds over them and is afraid that his daughter will become more recluse. Locke and Terrence find a way for the bond to be broken, and it's the rite of challenge. Basically a fight to the death. Both clans who have to be a witness, so basically it's like the fighting school. Kinda, sorta, not really. You're not supposed to die, but like, the fight to the death just sounds more entertaining. Perry believes he'll take the offer, since if he didn't, or if he'll lose the respect of his clan. But instead of that kind of race, we're cycling. Because why the hell would we not introduce something and not do something with it? Arthur asks Perry to marry him after the challenge, which he agrees. So how badly does his husband fuck him up? We get to see Juniper finally transform into a wolf, which I would have liked to see at the end of, but it does show us that she has grown since being around her new dad, Arthur. But all that isn't long-lived, as her dad shows up and is very pissed she doesn't want to see or go to him. Of course, he doesn't want to agree to the treaty since he has more to lose than Arthur, so he decides to put his whole ass on the line, saying he will leave if he loses. The contract is signed, but everyone is rightfully pissed and worried. Arthur gets to train as Perry admits to two things: that they were mates/fated mates, and that he's pregnant. It's been a fucking week. It's been a literal week since they had sex, mind you. I think it's been a month at best. He's like, oh, I just know it. And I'm over here going, okay, I'll believe you, I guess. I ain't got nothing else to disprove you. What's so... Oh, yeah, did I forget that this is about werewolf ship? So, I guess... After a tough race and even a bike catching on fire, Arthur wins. Arthur and Perry decide to get married 2 days later and announce that he's pregnant. We jump to a year later when their son Mars is born. No. Stop naming your kids stupid shit because it sounds cool. Stop it. No. Bad. I already know what you're thinking. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I don't remember how to actually say it, but stop it. Someone's gonna come down and be like, my name is that. Yeah, shut up. Shut up. Stop naming your kids that because, oh, Jupiter was such a pretty name and I love astrology. Yeah, cool. Name him fucking Mars Rover or whatever. I don't give a shit. I do now, damn it. Anyway, the ex-husband has been outcast and can no longer race due to his leg injury, and Perry and Arthur decide to become teachers for racing or something. The end. No, that's really it. There's a thing in here where it's read the first chapter and how they met. They talk about how they met. What do you mean? They met at the fighting school and how he had to basically marry his husband young. Like, he was already, like, chosen to marry this guy. So it's like, you already kind of told us. And they already kind of actually admit that they were friends. Like, they were both kind of, like, one was the introvert, one was the extrovert, and they became friends. And then, like, he wanted to say, hey, I love you. And then, like, I think, like, a month later, like, after not even maybe graduation, a month or two after graduation, like, he was married off to, like, the arranged partner. So it's like, why do we need a first meeting or first meeting thing when we clearly know how they met? Anyway, this series does have its good moments. It has its bad moments, too. Smut's fine. It's nothing, like, over the top or anything, but it's alright. I would really have loved it if it wasn't AI covers. I also have the other ones. I will probably read them later. I don't want to right now. Instead, I will tell you about the next book I am actually going to be reading. The Wolfpack series. And again, it has the Paramount sticker. We will go over the TV show as well because terribly, it got canceled. But there were 4 books in this, and this first book is like 185 pages. Won't take me too long, but also I have horror movies to review, Christmas stuff to review. So, we'll get there when we get there, won't we now? Me in the future, probably. It's like, it's fucking August of next year. Yeah, probably. I wouldn't doubt it. I do what I want when I want, bitch. Anyway, see you next time on whatever and whenever I decide to review things.